Hello everybody, Chris here, and in this video I'd like to show you how to set up a free WordPress site for yourself. So before we get started with this tutorial, I want to mention a couple things about WordPress. The WordPress package itself is free for download, but in order to actually host a website on it, generally you're either going to need a free place to host it, such as O web host, or in this case we're going to be using WordPress.com directly, probably the more popular choice for free WordPress hosting specifically, or you need paid hosting in order to basically upload your WordPress package and have full control over that site with no ads or anything else. But since we're trying to do a free WordPress site, we're going to be using WordPress.com in order to do that. But if you later decide that you want to have full control over your WordPress site and be able to change the files directly, basically manage the web server and that kind of thing, then you're actually going to be looking for WordPress.org, where you download the WordPress package directly. And that might be a paid WordPress package tutorial for a later date. So if we go to WordPress.com/start, you're going to have this option here where you can start with basically 4 different types of a website out of the box. And using this interface, it's kind of similar to something like Weebly or Wix, which is going to be great for starters because they're going to kind of get some of that stuff rolling for you. So a blog, if you don't already know, is kind of your most basic kind of website where you write articles and people respond to your comments, respond to your blog posting, your articles, with comments and that kind of thing. Now, many types of sites actually have a blog. Not every blog is just a blog. On top of having a place where you put articles, which any WordPress site can do, really, you can have a business-based website, and that's kind of what you're going for with the starter website over here, where you might have some extra pages about your organization, about the business you're running. Now, if you're doing more like an independent personal portfolio site, then you're going to want a portfolio over here. And what we're talking about when we mean portfolio is basically demoing or showing people some of the highlights of the things that you or your company has worked on. So, for instance, a photographer very likely going to want a portfolio site because that will allow them to basically showcase some of their images. Or a web designer also going to want portfolios because you can basically upload images of the sites you've worked on, write a description of what you did in the project, and that kind of thing. And now, hopefully, you're kind of seeing that there's a lot of overlap here, and these are just starting places. So if you think you want a portfolio, but you also want business pages, it's not like these are mutually exclusive. They're just kind of starting places for your site. And then the fourth option is to start with an online store, where you would have online e-commerce. And e-commerce in WordPress is generally done with WooCommerce package. So it allows you to sell things online, physical or digital, and check out with payment gateways like PayPal. So in this case, I think we'll go with start with a website, just to have a little bit of a layer above a standard blog. Of course, with any WordPress site, doing the blog posting, writing articles, it's very simple to do. So we'll do start with a website here, and it's going to give us a list of different themes that we can try out of the box. Now, I believe all of these themes are free themes. There do exist premium themes for WordPress if that's something that later interests you, and you can pick those kind of things up on sites like ThemeForest, or I think My Theme Shop is another one. But officially, WordPress only supports free themes out of the box. They don't. You can never really buy premium plugins or themes straight within the WordPress interface. It's not something that I think is publicly supported exactly due to some licensing issues, but nonetheless, those things do exist out there on the web anyway. So from these free theme options, it does look like there's some pretty decent options here. So I think I'm going to go and try this DAR one over here. So I'm going to hover over it and hit pick. And now we got to give it a domain name. So you can check already have a domain name. If you've purchased like a .com domain name, which is ideal for websites that get serious, to have like a short sample domain name that describes the business rather than like a .wordpress.com kind of domain. But here I'm just going to type in some stuff. So enter a name or keyword. Let's say tutorials, Chris Tutorials. Let's just put that in. Okay, now the free version is going to be .wordpress.com. Domain names aren't free, but some sites like WordPress.com will allow you to have a free subdomain. So that's what this is. It's Chris Tutorials site at WordPress.com. So we can select this option, or you can choose a premium option. But once again, we're trying to keep it free. So we'll start with free, which, let's see, 3 gigabytes storage space, that's good. Free themes, Jetpack, which is a good WordPress kind of collection of different sub-plugins that are kind of all in one. And I think with the free version, they do put some ads on your site, which is totally normal. Even if you upload WordPress to something like O Web Host, there's going to be ads on the site, because these companies, they need to support themselves somehow, right? Alternatively, you can upgrade to one of these packages later on. I think at personal, it does eliminate the advertising. Yeah, remove all WordPress.com advertising. The alternative to choosing these premium packages in the future is to go with a premium hosting service, something like DreamPress, basically, or if you're really feeling adventurous, something like DigitalOcean.com, which would require you to be kind of technical, so I wouldn't really recommend it. But here we'll just start with free and put in some email address stuff. Okay, password. Okay, I'll actually use a different email there. So let's see, choose a password. Okay, I'll just go with that, and we'll create the account. I guess I will add that to my LastPass for password management, and continue. So this is going to basically launch us straight into the WP admin, well, the front page site actually. But over here you have the equivalent of the WP admin interface, where we can add blog posts, pages, testimonials. Now, if you've ever seen what WordPress looks like behind the scenes, the way that WordPress.com does it, it's themed a little bit different than just a fresh out-of-the-box WordPress installation. But for the most part, things are the same here. It's just that they have some customization. So here we can do things. So if you want to add a new article or a blog post, you would click add here, and you start typing things up. So it's like test blog post, and then you would like, this is purely for tutorial purposes. So great. Adding other things like categories and tags. So tags and categories are ways of defining your posts, basically combining them together so that it's easy to navigate. So for instance, if you have a bunch of posts that are all in this new category we'll add called tutorial category, then on those blog post pages, there'll be a box to basically click on tutorial, the category, and then you can see all the posts that have that category. Alright, so I went ahead and verified my email, so I can publish now. Let's see, some other settings. You probably want to add tags to your posts. Once again, just like categories, these are good ways of navigating through your content and having content that's similarly linked together. So this might be, I don't know, Chris Tutorials tag, comma separated, so whenever you want to add a new tag, just hit comma. I don't know, we'll add some random tags here. Windows, WordPress, top 10, why not? Down here you can also add a featured image. It's a good idea for your posts because images make posts more kind of likable to click on. It's kind of the same thing with YouTube videos. When you see a good thumbnail on YouTube, you generally want to click on that video a lot more than if it's just some crappy default image. So you can set featured images down there. It's a good idea. You can connect into different services to, and this is a Jetpack feature, by the way, but Jetpack comes on WordPress.com by automatic. So you can connect to different services like Facebook and Twitter, and you can have it automatically post basically notifications about these new blog posts you're writing to those services. Whether or not you want to use that, that's up to you. I know that if you post too much, it could be kind of annoying, but at the same time, it could be a good way to harness your social media accounts. And other options like changing the slug of the page. That's if you come up here in the toolbar, it's kind of what people have to type in or what the link is going to look like. So it would be test blog post and some other minor details. So we'll go ahead and publish that. and then we'll view it on the page where it gets published to. Okay, it looks like it's taking a second here. And there we go. So on site title. Oh, yeah, we should probably set a title for the site. So go back here. Let's see. So the blog, it already set up some pages for us, which is cool. Testimonials page, typical thing you'd want for business. A contact page, a completely undefined page, an about page, and a home page. So you can see here we have the tags where you can click on them and you can sort through your site based on those tags. And if we click onto the blog post, it should also show the category. Visitors will see advertisements here. By default, once again, you can upgrade if you want to remove that. Let's see, where's that post category? It could be in this theme that they don't actually show the post category, but in most themes they do. Let's see, WordPress. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. Let's move on by setting the site title. So to do that, we want to go down to settings at the very bottom of the backend interface. I'm going to set this to Chris Tutorials. Well, yeah, we'll set it to Chris Tutorials. Demo site. You can set a tagline too, which will kind of appear up here in the top bar when people are on the front pages of your site. So it'd be like Chris Tutorials demo site, a great place to learn about how to use WordPress or whatever. I'm going to make this site private, so visible only to me and users I approve, because I don't want this to actually show up in the search engines. This is just a demo site, has no purpose beyond this video. Change the site address, we don't need to do that. Let's see, writing. So we have categories, we have tags, we can monitor, we can change those here if we want. Discussion, do we want to do any settings here? Probably want to leave those checked. Notify blogs and other things that get linked by the articles. Kind of just so that anything out there on the internet is going to be notified by you posting a article. Or not anything, but to a degree. I think there's an option here for like notify search engines or something. But in most cases, you can leave the default settings. They're kind of set up for what most people are going to want them. Let's see, show related content after post. That's probably a good one to have. So this will just, you can see by the example. If you have a bunch of posts on your site, it's going to show related posts from your site, basically link people to other pages. So if you can keep people on your site a little longer, you can do that. Integrating Google Analytics apparently requires the business plan. Not too big of a deal, but some people may want to upgrade later. If you are serious enough for Google Analytics, you're probably going to be serious enough at some point to spend $5-10 a month anyway. So if later you decide to upgrade to the business plan, getting your site verification done down here is probably going to be a good idea. So basically, you just go into these different tools like Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Center, and you copy and paste these different tags as per the instructions over here. And it helps basically get those search engines tied in with your sites. You can see any problems SEO related to your site, but I believe the reason it's not letting me paste it in here is because you need the business plan, unfortunately. But even without having those, your posts will get basically pinged by the search engines, and they will appear and people will be able to visit them. You just don't get access to all of the tools. But there may be some other ways to do site verification services on the free account. Not 100% certain about that. And, okay, here, if you have any content from another WordPress site, unlikely, but you can do that here. So WordPress export files, it's like a .xml, and you just upload that here. And you can also export your content if you decide you don't want to use WordPress.com anymore. And you can export this to any other WordPress site you have up there on the internet. So if you decide to migrate your site to a new web host, this would be a tool that you want to use. So let's talk about some other stuff here. Pages. We'll just go ahead and edit one of these pages. So pages, you click on the three dots. I'm going to hit edit page here. And we can start typing stuff in. So what are you going to want in a page? It's really kind of how you want to build this. I would think very much in the realms of something like Microsoft Word. So you're writing a document with these WYSIWYG editors. You can insert media, you can insert contact form pages, which probably belongs more on specifically the contact form page. So let's see, can we add any default media? Sure, let's add in this image. You can create a gallery by one or more image, but we don't want to do that. We can also center this by left-clicking and hitting center on the page. And finally, let's hit enter a couple times and start typing some stuff in. So this is the edited version of the page. It's improved. And you get the idea. You write content. Anything you want to say about your business or website, you can do that, and you can create new pages as you need them. Also, you can see you can tag your page in a similar fashion that you can tag your blog posts, but I think they exist on two separate tag systems, not 100% certain. Let's see, page templates. In most cases, you're going to have a few page templates depending on what theme your site has. So if you don't want the sidebar, you can switch from default template to no sidebar, full width. May be useful for some cases. Decide to show sharing buttons or like buttons, and that once again comes over from Jetpack. So if you're ever on a regular WordPress site rather than a WordPress.com website, if you want to have those, you install Jetpack and you get those features. Yep, so we can update that page. So if you have any files that you ever want to add in, just upload them here. You can hit add new button and locate them on your computer, or you can drag them from your desktop onto here. Documents, images, video, and video and audio file require premium, apparently. But in most cases, what you're going to want to upload is images for your blog posts. You can just link to an off-site WordPress video. 3 gigabytes of data isn't honestly enough to really support having a lot of video on your site anyway. So, yeah, probably just use YouTube and then paste those links into your blog posts. If you ever want to change the theme, click here. Oh, and apparently I was wrong. There are WordPress.com premium themes. My bad on that. But yeah, usually you would go online to somewhere like ThemeForest if you want to find premium themes, and these are specific to WordPress.com. I wonder if you can actually use them off-site, though. Possibly. Look into that before you buy it, though. Now let's see. Adding extra user accounts to the site. If you want to do that, people add. And you can add new user accounts, give them permissions, that kind of stuff. If you add a link for basically people to follow your blog, and actually I think that Jetpack does that by default. People can follow, they can get automatic notifications about your blog posts. You can see who's viewing your site, who's followed your blog. So on plugins, we see one of the main differences between a WordPress.com site and hosting your WordPress site on another site. So if you want to be able to add just any plugin, like no limitations, you might be looking more at something like O Web Host, which is still going to hit you with advertisements, and you're still going to have to pay for it if you want to get all the tools, if you want to have basically premium service. But you can at least upload any plugin onto your WordPress site if it is hosted on O Web Host or any other free web host. More management required, but here's what I would say. Jetpack does do a lot of things for you. So let's see. Social media plugin or media buttons. A lot of people are going to want that. Like buttons for posts. Allowing people to sign up via email. Security, act as anti-spam. A lot of this stuff is just basically putting all the things out there that most WordPress sites are going to have anyway. So Jetpack is really kind of an all-in-one tool. So if you end up liking Jetpack, you're probably fine just having that alone. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, really. Unless you're looking for an extra level of customization and you have a really complicated site that you need to build. Let's see here. So testimonials, do we want to add more of those? Those are kind of just different pieces of blog content. So they're not like articles, but this would be where you kind of just quote different people. and it shows up on a different page on your site. So testimonials in this case are more like just a different kind of category. It's not linked together with your other blog posts. Kind of like pages are like just a page, just a post and themselves, but they're categorized differently. And then up here on stats, rather than having to integrate with Google Analytics or something like that out of the box, you can just use the default Jetpack one, which is probably comparable. Let's see, anything else? Not too much. So, just in case you do want to have a little bit more control over your site, though, on www.webhost.com, you can basically access your site, manage it with cPanel. It does have limitations, but you can upload any plugin, any theme you want onto your site, rather than just being able to upload media. But honestly, the more control you have over your site, it gets a little bit more complicated. So starting with WordPress.com, not a bad idea. You can always export your content to a new site on any other web host you want if you decide that WordPress.com isn't for you. But that's the simplest way to create a free WordPress site. Just remember, add blog posts, edit your pages, set them up how you like it. It's kind of like using Microsoft Word. Make sure you have all the settings good. Pick a theme that you like, and you should be good to go. So I've been Chris. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this tutorial at least fairly helpful, and I will see you guys in my future video content.